Hello friends, welcome back to your UPSC. Today in environmental science we are going to start with another topic, that is environmental pollution. So let's get started. So starting with environmental pollution, first let us understand what are pollutants. Okay. So see, this is our environment. When we add something to environment, it may have positive effect or negative effect. Okay. Now the positive effect, obviously they will have positive effect on the whole environment and they will help the environment to grow. Okay, but the negative one, the negative effects, they adversely affect the environment and they adversely affect the quality of environment. Okay, so the factors, the material or the element that causes adverse effect on the natural quality of component of environment, okay, they are known as pollutants. Okay, so the one having negative effect are known as pollutants. Okay, now pollutants, they may be classified into various types. Okay, so one by one we will look into the classifications. First of all, according to the form in which they persist in the environment. Okay, so first of all we have primary pollutants, then we have secondary pollutants. Okay, so primary pollutants are the one that persist in the environment or that stays in the environment in the exact form or in the same form as they were introduced. Okay, like plastic, it was introduced in the environment, so it will persist or remain in the environment as plastic only. Okay, now secondary pollutants are the one which are formed by interaction of two or more than two primary pollutants. For example, we have pyroxyacetyl nitrate, that is PAN. Okay, so this PAN is formed from addition or interaction of two components. First one is nitrogen oxide and another one is hydrocarbons. Okay, so these both of these, nitrogen oxide and hydrocarbon, they interact with each other to form PAN. Okay, so this was classification of pollutants according to their form in which they persist in the environment. Okay, next is according to their existence in the nature. Okay, now according to their existence means like how they have came into this environment. Were they already present or were they formed and introduced by men? Okay, so first of all we have quantitative pollutants. Quantitative pollutants are the one which have existed in the environment for a long time, but when their quantity it increases, they become harmful for their existence. Okay, or they pollute the environment. Okay, like for example we have carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide, it has always remained or it was always present in the environment. Okay, but as soon as its quantity it started to increase, it started to act as a pollutant. Okay, why? Because initially its concentration was to such a limit that it would help earth to keep warm. Okay, otherwise our earth would be a cold planet, but now its quantity have reached so much high. Okay, it is so much high in quantity that now our earth is burning. Okay, now global warming effect is due to increase in the quantity of some gases like carbon dioxide, etc. Okay, so this is our quantitative pollutants. These are our quantitative pollutants. Next we have qualitative pollutants. Qualitative pollutants, they do not or they have not existed in like in the nature before they were introduced by man. Okay, they were formed, they were synthesized and they were formed by men and then they were introduced into the environment. And when they were introduced into the environment, they had an adverse effect on the nature or natural quality of the environment. Now, some of the examples of man-made pollutants are, or quantitative pollutants are, like pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers, etc. They are not present in the environment, or they were not naturally occurring substances that were already present in the environment. They were introduced by man, they were formulated by man, and they were introduced by man into the environment. Okay, so these are our pollutants according to their existence in nature. Now, lastly, we have pollutants according to their nature of disposal. Okay, that either they are biodegradable, that they will degrade with the time, or they are non-biodegradable. Now, biodegradable pollutants are the one which are degraded by microbial actions such as sewage, etc. They are easily degraded by microbes. Next we have is non-biodegradable pollutants. Now non-biodegradable pollutants are the ones that are not decomposed by the microbial action. Okay, so these are, like, we have glasses, we have plastics. They remain for very long time on earth. Okay, like for hundreds, thousands of years they will exist on earth. So they are basically more harmful than the biodegradable pollutants. Now, if we look into the causes of pollution, we will see that first of all, our huge population is a cause of pollution. Next, because we have to serve such a huge population, that is why we are having vast agricultural practices, and industrialization is going on. Rapid industrialization is going on now. Because of rapid industrialization, harmful gases are being released. Okay, so various harmful elements are being introduced in the environment, so that is another cause. Next is urbanization. Okay, see, we have already covered this topic in geography. Now, because people, they are attracted towards urban sophisticated lifestyle, that is why people, they are moving from, or they are migrating from rural areas to urban areas. Okay, so now urban areas, because of overpopulation, we have to increase the size of these urban areas. So rapid industrialization and rapid urbanization is going on. This is also one of the cause of pollution. Now, when we are living in cities, we are introduced to different type of lifestyle. Okay, we actually have access to newer and more sophisticated technologies. Now people here, they use vehicles, personal vehicles. Okay, so all these things, they are adding to the pollution in one way or the another. Now, lastly, we have uncontrolled exploitation of nature and natural causes. Okay, so let's see, this is our urban area. Okay, now if we are expanding this urban area, we have to cover our natural resources. Okay, we have to cover our land. Okay, so this land is covered. Now, this land would have been used for like forest area, growing forest area, or another things. So this natural site is destroyed so that cities can be settled down in these areas. Okay, so our natural things, our natural resources, they are being exploited, and this is also one of the cause of pollution. Now, this was basic introduction to pollution and pollutants and its various causes. Now we will look into each and every pollution one by one, each and every type of pollution one by one. Now, first of all, we have air pollution. See, air pollution is introduction of harmful elements in the air. Okay, so harmful pollutants, when they are introduced to air, which degrades the quality of air, and it affects the physical environment. of the site. Okay, then this is known as air pollution. See, simple definition of pollution is addition or excessive addition of certain materials to the physical environment, okay, making it less fit or unfit for life. Okay, so this is our basic definition of pollution. So air pollution is like adding of pollutants in the air which make it unfit for the survival of life. Okay, now air pollution is one of the most harmful pollution because air, it moves rapidly from one place to another. Okay, it is the most basic necessity for the survival of life. Okay, now this air pollution is aggravated because of like increasing traffic, growing cities, rapid economic development and industrialization. Okay, now because of these the emission from all these industries and vehicles, these gases, they are introduced in the air, our atmosphere, and they are basically consumed by the living organisms, which is very harmful for their health. Okay, now major air pollutants, we are going to discuss about major air pollutants. First of all, our major air pollutant is carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is also known as CO. Okay, so it is a colorless and odorless gas, and it is produced by incomplete burning of carbon based fuels. Okay, so when like we have coal, when this coal is not fully burned, okay, so it will produce carbon monoxide. Okay, like we have petrol, diesel, woods, etc. When they are not fully burned, they produce carbon monoxide. Then we have is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, it is a principal greenhouse gas. It is the most principal greenhouse gas, which is, we can basically say, it is released because of burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, natural gas, etc. Then we have chlorofluorocarbon, also designated as CFCs. Okay, these are the gases that are released mainly from air conditioners, refrigerators, aerosols, etc. Okay, then we have lead. Lead is present in petrol, diesel, lead batteries, paints, hair dyes, etc. Okay, then we have ozone. Ozone, when it occurs naturally, it is a protective layer, or it is a protective gaseous layer in the upper layer of atmosphere. Okay, so it is present in stratosphere, that we all know. Okay, and it protects us from very harmful ultraviolet radiation. Okay, but this was about its placement in the upper layer, but in the lower layer, if we see at the ground level, if we see, this air is, or this gas is a harmful pollutant. Okay, now we have vehicles and industries, they are the major source of ozone, and ozone at the ground level, it is very harmful and it acts as a pollutant. Next, we have suspended particulated matter, that is SPM. They consist of soil and air in the form of smoke, dust, or vapor. Okay, so like this is our air. So some parts of smoke, dust, vapor, they are very light, so they are hanging in the air. Okay, so these are known as, basically these are known as suspended particulated matter. But when these suspended particulated matter, actually they increase quite a lot in quantity, then they are very harmful for living organisms, because they will be intaken in the, or during the breathing process. Okay, and they will harm the body of a living organisms. Then we have Sulfur dioxide is a gas which is produced during burning of coal. That is mainly in thermal power plants. Okay. Lastly, we have smog. Smog is basically, it is a word which is formed from two words, that is smoke plus fog. Okay. Like recent case you must have seen in Delhi during winters. Okay. So there was news that because of smoke there were many accidents in Delhi. See what happens is, because as we have seen that Delhi is quite a polluted area. Okay. So we have huge amount of smoke there. Okay. So huge amount of smoke is present there. Now during the colder seasons, the smoke, it is mixed with fog. Okay. So fog, it occurs during cold seasons. Okay. So smoke is mixed with fog, which makes it, or we can say which makes the surrounding, our surrounding, first of all, we are not able to see the visibility, it is reduced to only few meters or few centimeters. Okay. So visibility is reduced. Next, the air, it is very very harmful, or it is very difficult to breathe in such air. Okay. So breathing problem. So these are the major air pollutants. Now we will talk about indoor air pollution. Okay. Indoor air pollution, it basically means, or it basically refers to the physical, chemical and biological characteristics of the air. Okay. So physical, chemical and biological characteristics of the air inside. Okay. So all the physical, chemical and biological characteristics of the air indoor. Okay. They forms indoor environmental condition. Okay. Or indoor air condition. Now these indoor air conditions, they are basically they, when the quality of air is degraded or the quality of air is reduced inside, or we can say indoors, when the quality of air is reduced indoors, then this type of pollution is known as indoor air pollution. Okay. Now this indoor air pollution, it may be caused because of like lack of ventilation, lack of openings in the houses. Okay. Which makes the house airtight or the area airtight. Okay. Then third thing may be there may be huge pollution or quite a large amount of pollution outside, which is making the inside air also polluted. So this is basically causes of air pollution. Now indoor air pollution may be of two types, that is, first is rural indoor air pollution, and second is urban indoor air pollution. Now they are caused by very different things. That is why we have divided them into two types. First of all, talking about rural indoor air pollution. So see, in rural indoor air pollution, the main cause of pollution or the great threat to pollution is the great threat is which is causing air pollution is traditional fuel. Okay. Using of traditional fuel in kitchen, like for cooking instead of LPGs, etc. People in rural areas, they use firewood, charcoals, cow dungs for cooking and heating purpose. Okay. So this is the main source of rural air pollution, indoor air pollution. Now burning such fuels, they emit large amount of smoke and other air pollution, other air pollutants. Okay. And in the rural areas, you must have seen the society is very conservative. Okay, so the women, they are kept, or they mostly remain indoor, and the openings like ventilation is also not very good in rural housings. Okay, so what we will see then, when they are using these traditional fuels, the smoke and these air pollutants, they will remain inside the house. Okay, which will make the health conditions for the women and children in the house adverse. Okay, so this is our rural air pollution. Now urban air pollution, this was our rural air pollution. Next is our urban air pollution. Now urban air pollution is caused due to various reasons, such as when the buildings, mostly residential buildings, are not of these type, like commercial buildings, etc. They are mostly, they are formed tightly sealed buildings. Okay, we have tightly sealed buildings, commercial buildings in the urban areas. Okay, and because they are tightly sealed, the ventilation is reduced. Okay, and to get rid of any sort of like insects and all, these buildings, they are regularly introduced to various insecticides, pesticides, etc. Okay, so now these insecticides and pesticides, they add to air pollution inside the buildings. Okay, and the another cause of urban pollution, inside the indoor urban pollution, is the huge amount of air pollution outside. Okay, so the huge amount of air pollution outside, it may also cause the pollution inside. And next is the pesticides, insecticides, aerosols, etc., which are used in the closed buildings. They are also adding to air pollution, or they are degrading the air quality inside the building. Next we have is fly ashes. Fly ashes, they are basically formed when we actually burn, or they are basically formed when we have combustion of solid material. Okay, so when solid material, any solid material is burned, like we have seen, like during burning of woods, we have some small particles that are shooting out of the wood. Okay, so these remain in the air as fly ashes, in the form of fly ashes. Okay, so these fly ashes, they are residues that remain, or they rise with the gases and they remain in the atmosphere for a long time. Okay, and these fly ashes, they are very fine powder, and they tend to travel very far in the air. Okay, because they are very fine, so they are very light in weight, so they tend to move with air and they can travel very far of places. Okay, so basically we can say the ashes, like we have ashes when the whole solid thing or wood is burned, then we have ashes that remains on ground. But there are some ashes that do not remain on ground, they fly with air, so these ashes are known as fly ashes. Okay, now fly ashes, they mostly constitute of aluminium silicate in large amount, then we have silicon dioxide, and lastly we have calcium oxide. Okay, so this is our composition of fly ashes. Now this was about air pollution. Now we will talk about control measures. How can we control air pollution? So control measures are of two types. First is policy measures, then we have preventive measures. Okay. So policy measures are like, they are mostly in the hands of government. They are totally in the hand of government. The government will make some policies for reducing the air pollution. And next is preventive measures, like we can prevent air pollution by using all these less aerosols and all that. And then burning, by less burning of fuels also we can prevent or we can control air pollution by using like public vehicles instead of personal vehicles for smaller distances, etc. So that is how we can control air pollution. So we have some control measures, like first of all we can select suitable fuel which is more efficiently utilized. Okay, and enhancement in technology will also help in like effective burning of fuel, which will emit out less residues. Okay, so when there are less residues, there will be less pollution in our environment. Next uh, next of all we can modify our industrial procedures. Okay, and we can use the equipments which emits out less pollutants. Then the sites for industries are also one of the ways to reduce air pollution in certain areas. Like near the residential area, there should be no buildings or no industries constructed. So the industry should be far away from the residential area, so that the pollutants or the pollution released, it may not directly affect the public or the residents of the area. Okay, now there are various government initiatives like policy measures. We can see we have national air quality monitoring program. So in it, we are actually, the government is trying to monitor the air quality of areas, of various areas in the country. Okay, so this is what is basically done in national air quality monitoring program. And here the data are being collected according to the pollution in the specific city, how much pollutants are being introduced. Okay, all these things are being measured. The quality of air is being measured, and the measures to reduce this air pollutions or the reduce the harmful pollutants from the area are being taken up by the government. And they are they are site specific measures. Okay, so first of all, what exactly is the procedure of national air quality monitoring program? First of all, it determines the status and trend of ambient air quality in that area. Okay, then it actually tries to understand, or it tries to bring out natural processes for cleaning the environment in the specific area. Okay, and the corrective measures and preventive measures are taken up according to this pollutant that is being introduced in the environment. Next we have is national ambient air quality standard, that is NAAQs. NAAQS. Sorry, NAAQS. So this is our national ambient air quality standard. So it basically looks into the components of air in the specific area. Okay, and it basically looks into 12 major pollutants that are present in the, or that are basic causes of air pollution. First of all, in the 12 components, 12 pollutants, we have sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, particulated matter, that is PM10, PM2.5, ozone, lead, carbon monoxide, arsenic, nickel, benzene, ammonia, and benzopyrene. Okay, so these are the 12 components of air pollutant, or these are 12 air pollutants that this NAAQ, it basically looks for. Okay, and the amount of these component present in the air, according to this amount, it actually standardize, or it gives the quality, the ranking to the air quality ranking to the area. Now please listen, this ranking is not exactly ranking, it just gives the air quality of the area. Okay, next we have is National Air Quality Index. National Air Quality Index, it was launched in 2015. So this is basically the program which ranks the air quality of any area. Okay, so it basically ranks in six basic categories. So we have good, satisfactory, moderately polluted, poor, very poor, and severe. Okay, these are the six categories on which the air quality of any area is ranked. Okay, and air quality index, it actually takes into consideration 8 major pollutants, that is our particulated matter 10, particulated matter 2.5, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, then we have ozone, ammonia, and lead. So these are the basic 8 pollutants on which, or on the amount of which the area is ranked. Okay, so this was our air pollution. So that was all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's lecture. Let's meet in our next class. Till then, take care and have a nice day. Thank you.